heard the story of $1 million baby? So this hospital in the suburbs of a small town was very well known among the millionaire's mom who would fly from Hollywood to get their $1 million baby delivered. And if you were the doctor who was about to deliver that $1 million baby, wouldn't you take extra precautions and care? And the most being not to mix that baby with the common clay. Now, why is that important? Why was the doctor so popular? He would deliver the same way any other doctor would. It was the care, it was the branding, it was the label that he differentiated himself from other doctors around. Now, in life, often there are people who have passion, who have big dreams, and they want to go for it and do something different, but they give up halfway. Or even if they start delivering, they are not able to differentiate themselves from the common clay. Now, those who can and those who did, would you give me a reason what helped them differentiate? And the key and the mantra always is, if you want to be successful, then differentiate yourself. Ask yourself, how are you different? What is important about you? Why does the customer need you? This was the core of this 27-year-old who used her $5,000 saving, followed her passion, and knocked every door she could get her hands on, had a full-time job Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but every weekend, every evening, she would try to find out how can she differentiate herself among the crowd. How is she different? What is the selling point of her product? So this is the story of passion, story of phenomenal entrepreneurial success, and story of someone who followed her gut feeling. Someone who knew failure is inevitable, but success is inevitable too. Using that $5,000 saving, she created a $1 billion company, not knowing a single thing about the product manufacturing, about the industry, not even the entire concept. She did not know how. She did not have big, famous connections in the industry. But she had one thing she knew, and that was her upbringing early on from her life, that when it comes to failure, it is okay. In fact, her father would every day ask her, "So what did you fail at today?" And if there were no failures, her dad would be disappointed. That lesson of focusing on failing big time allowed her to know and believe that failure is not an outcome, but involves a lack of trying. And that is if you are not trying hard enough. So failing big was a great thing. In fact, success comes to you only after you have experienced your failure. In life, you got to embrace what you don't know and always trust your gut. Hello everyone, you are listening to Invincible Passion Talk Show with your host Jaya MK. And today I'm going to share the story of this entrepreneur. She's born on February 27th, 1971. In Florida Clearwater, she's the daughter of an attorney and an artist. She graduated from Florida State University with a communications degree. Initially, she wanted to become an attorney, but after scoring low on LSAT, she went ahead and did a job with Walt Disney World in Orlando for 3 months. Later, she accepted a job with office supply company called Dunka, where she sold fax machines door to door. And she was very successful in sales and was soon promoted to national sales trainer at the age of just 25. And this is what I call destiny. If one thing doesn't work out for you, then you are forced to try something new, something different. And that something different doesn't quite work out, then again you are forced to try something. Or in fact, I should say, whatever is offered, one just takes on to that. And she believes there is a hidden blessing in the most traumatic things one goes through in their life. And that's how she always thinks about, where is the hidden blessing? What is my gift? From a sales job of selling fax machines, she had picked up quite a knack in selling. And with her sales job every day, she had to wear pantyhose in the hot Florida climate, and she didn't like the appearance of the seamed foot. So one fine day, when she had to go to a private party, she experimented for somewhat slimmer look. And what she did was she cut off the feet of her pantyhose while wearing them under a new pair of slacks. And though it did give the look, but it wasn't quite the one she went for. And that was a tube light moment, which I say every entrepreneur experiences once in their life. And that delivered her vision. She had that problem. And suddenly she thought if she's having that problem, other women around the globe might be having it too. And this is an entrepreneurial mind. They don't complain for situations in life or the problems they face in life, but take responsibility for providing a solution. She kept on working, she kept on reading on how she can come up with the product or how to get rid of that problem. About 2 years, when she was around 27 years old, she moved to Atlanta. And she was still working with that company, Danka, and she spent the next 2 years and her $5,000 savings researching and developing her idea. And as I say, idea is just not going to fill your belly. Idea is not just going to help you roll the red carpet on your way and suddenly you hear the drum rolls and you see your name on the Forbes and Fortune list. That doesn't happen. That is just the beginning of an idea. Birthing the product, the process takes 9 months. For her, it took those 2 years. She kept on researching and developing her idea and had to overcome many challenges. The first was creating a prototype. She didn't know. She didn't know nothing about this industry. Over the weekends, she found out that there are all the hosiery mills in North Carolina. So that's what she would do. Over the weekend, she would go there, the location of most of America's hosiery mills, to present her idea. And guess what happens? Every time she would knock the door, the question would be asked, who? She would say, Sarah Blakely. What? Sarah Blakely. Who are you with? Sarah Blakely. She was nobody. She knew nobody. She had no idea about the industry, but she knew one thing, what she wanted. And she had seen the problem and she had found the solution. So she would go and meet every weekend, try to knock the doors of these manufacturers. But she was turned away by every representative. These companies were used to dealing with big names. And that time, they didn't see the value in the name Sarah Blakely. This is the story of the founder of Spanx, the woman who used her $5,000 savings to turn it into $1 billion company. This is the story when she had just started in her life with this idea. It was only after returning from one of those trips to North Carolina she received a call from a mill operator who was based in Asheboro, North Carolina, who offered to support her concept. And the reason was he had 3 daughters and he had received huge encouragement from them. That is also when she realized that although this industry caters to females, but it lacked the female perspective because the manufacturers were all dominated by males. And she broke the traditional mold. And that is what she says. As an entrepreneur, always ask yourself, why are you different? What is important about you? Why does the customer need you? But again, having an idea is not going to fill your belly. She needed a prototype and she found one, but it took her almost 2 years. She had a full-time job, 9 to 5. Evening, she would research about her idea and build the concept, and weekend she would make trips from Atlanta to North Carolina. She would drive and brainstorm, and she knew though she's going to get a no, but every time she would drive. Although now the prototype was getting ready, the second challenge was of testing, and she tried to test that on herself, her mom, and her friends to see how to make the changes in the prototype. And then came the issue of patent filing. She found that there were no female patent lawyers operating in the entire state of Georgia. And unwilling to spend $3,000 to $5,000 quoted in legal fees, she instead wrote her own patent after purchasing a textbook from Barnes & Noble. Now, everyone talks about the success of the entrepreneur. Success is just a cherry on top of the cake, and the cake is all the struggles that helped them create it. She went through her share of struggles at every step. She did draft the patent, and then she returned to a patent attorney to finalize her application prior to submission to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and that attorney agreed to assist her for $750. And then came the packaging. She worked on the packaging on her product. That's entrepreneur. They don't have the cushion to fall back, and they want the thing to take place, the passion. Initially, they all have to not only bake the cake, they have to arrange for the ingredients too. So she would work on the packaging of the product and try to bring her innovative ideas and the color red and the illustrations to make it appeal to her customers. And how she did? She bought 10 different product brands from a department store just to use as a guide. She didn't have no clue how this industry runs. After about 1 year and a half trying to come up with a name for her brand and frustration of not getting the one that would click, though she found out during this span of time that Coca-Cola and Kodak were the two most recognized brand names hailing from Georgia, and they had the lucky sound of K. And also she knew that the founder of Kodak liked the sound of Kodak, the letter K, so much that he used it as the beginning and the end of his brand, and then started to create a word that would kind of blend with those letters. Now she knew that K is a lucky sound to the name. And then came the moment. It wasn't easy that either. It was while sitting in traffic the name Spanx came to her mind, and she decided shortly afterwards that she's going to replace the Spanx, the last two letters of K and S, with X. And the rest is history. She used her credit card to purchase a Spanx trademark on the United States Patent and Trademark Office for $150. From creating a prototype to testing, to building the product, to naming the product, to packaging, it took her a while, but it was still not over yet. She had to call every number she could find to now arrange a meeting with the buyers. And it was finally she was able to get a 5-minute meeting with the representative of the Neiman Marcus group. And it was during those 5 minutes she excused herself and went and changed into her brand Spanx to show the manager how the appearance changed, the look, and wearing her own product and the transformation. That was the biggest transformation presented. And the Neiman Marcus buyer approved, and it was her first sale. It was sold initially in 7 Neiman Marcus stores as a result of that meeting, and later Bloomingdale, Saks, and Bergdorf Goodman all followed. But when she started, nobody knew who Sarah Blakely was. So arranging a meeting with one of the reps of Neiman Marcus wasn't easy. She did make numerous calls, and every time she would get no. She kept at it, and then came the moment. And she proudly says, everything about my journey to get Spanx off the ground entailed me having to be salesperson, from going to the hosiery mills to get a prototype made to calling Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus. She said, all the time I kept on it, and she knew I had to position myself to get 5 minutes in the door with buyers. Just 5 minutes. And it was then she started contacting her friends and family, asking them to try her product. Now, what do you think made her successful? It wasn't easy. Everyone has a kind of a passion, and for most of them it is sitting at the back burner or just thinking, no, it is just a wish, it is just a dream, it's not going to happen. Of course it's not going to happen. It has been very beautifully wrapped in the silk and with the tie on it and kept in the hidden drawer's own mind, because you are scared of taking that dream out. You got to open that packet. That is your purpose, that is your direction, that is your gift. If you do not want to open it, you cannot complain that I wish my dream comes true. It wasn't easy for her either. But how did Spanx took off? It was somewhere around this time Sarah Blakely sent a basket of products to Oprah Winfrey's program with a gift card that explained what she was attempting to develop. Now, knowing if she would ever use it, she didn't know even it would get to her. But as the destiny would have it, it was by chance that Spanx was left in Oprah's wardrobe that she tried them on and absolutely loved it. And in November 2000, Oprah Winfrey named Spanx her favorite product, and that led to a significant growth in her popularity and sales. And that's when Sarah Blakely resigned her job from Danka. Can you believe it? This is an entrepreneur, and an entrepreneur only can do it. All this time, she had to pay her bills, she needed a health insurance, she had to feed herself, she had a full-time job, she would still be selling fax machines from door to door, but she kept at it. Every weekend, spending her time driving from Atlanta to North Carolina wasn't easy. Evenings, weekends, the more time she could get, she would spend on her product. And it was during one of those moments the idea of sending to Oprah clicked, and that transformed the history. It was all her belief. Spanx achieved $4 million in sales in its very first year and the $10 million sales in second year. And then she signed a contract with QVC. And within the first 6 minutes on QVC, she sold 8,000 pairs. The numbers speak. The numbers don't lie. She knew no one. She did not know even how. But she held on to her gut feeling. The upbringing that a child gets helps them realize that the world is a big canvas. They can paint on it whatever they want. They can create anything out of it. And failing is okay, and that is what she was given. So Sarah Blakely believes that was the foundation of her success. Failing is what takes you to success, and be prepared. Equip yourself for no. But she also believes you got to visualize. You got to have your vision. Hold on to it. Fill in the details. Be specific. That is what an entrepreneur is. You got to fill in the blanks. You have a feeling. You have a passion. You have a dream. Now you have to start painting your dream. She also says, do not share your idea with the world too soon, as ideas are vulnerable initially till they take the shape. But if you want to tell the people who can help move your idea forward. But even then, be absolutely in love with the answer no. But do not ever take no for an answer. Every no should take you one step closer to your yes. As I mentioned earlier, she loved the questions every time she would knock the door of a manufacturing mill operator. They would ask her, who are you? Sarah Blakely. Who are you with? Sarah Blakely. Who is backing you? Sarah Blakely. No one knew who she was. No one wanted to take a chance on her. But it eventually came to her. If you are ready for that no, yes is going to come to you, but you stop halfway, yes is not going to come and meet you. And once she had the product ready, once she knew she had created the buzz, it was that time she still went ahead with a gut feeling. She did not know the industry. She knew a bunch of friends whom she trusted, and she hired them as head of product development and PR director because she trusted herself. She trusted her gut feeling, and they trusted her. If you have the team, as I say, every entrepreneur needs a dream team who can become their shadow. It is then that entrepreneur can fly. But there is no preset order in which order you're going to achieve success or how you should start. It is if you're passionate about your vision, go for it, go with it, fly with it, and handle each situation as it shows up. Entrepreneur doesn't have a plan. All they always have is a vision. But when they start, they figure out, they create their path. And her passionate commitment to her new product Spanx was so powerful, she tackled every situation beautifully. After landing the order with Neiman Marcus and in the initial 7 stores, and then recommended by Oprah, and later on the Oprah show, everything she winged it. She trusted herself. And that's what she recommends. You can figure it out. You have the ability. She knew absolutely nothing about this industry, patenting a product or manufacturing or the product development, how to build a website. But that did not stop her. She figured out, she hired the people as it went through. She didn't have money enough to hire a place for the office. She would work from her own apartment. She had a full-time job that would pay for the rent and her bills. But she had the evenings to herself, which was tiring enough after the full-time job where she had to sell the fax machines. But she did not let that hold her passion back. There will always be reasons for shoving your passion onto tomorrow or maybe for day after tomorrow. But remember, it is the one who's ready to see that sunshine. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but definitely after day after tomorrow is the one who meets the success. And don't let that no ever bother you. As I said, she didn't have a formal website until she made it on the Oprah show. Because she said she believes anything that wasn't essential to building the product and getting the name out, there simply wasn't my priority. That is what is the core of all the budding entrepreneurs and starters, as they don't have enough money or the backup cushion, and they do all the stuff on their own until the idea picks up. And as the money starts to flow in, they start expanding their wings. And quoting Sarah Blakely here, she says, "Don't be intimidated by what you don't know. That can be your greatest strength. Just ensure that you do things differently from everyone else." But I believe it was a sales job that helped her, groomed her, trained her for a future role. Had it not been for failing the LSAT, had it not been the unsatisfactory job with Walt Disney, she would not have taken the job with Danka, and had it not been that sales experience, she would not have continuously persisted on knocking the door of every manufacturing owner in North Carolina. Everything that happens in life is for a reason. Now here I am moving on to a round which I call Numbers on Fire. How does the lucky numbers help her in success? Born on February 27, she is number 9. And if you add her date of birth, February 27, 1971, in the end you will get a single digit number 2. Her zodiac sign is Pisces, and Pisces is the planet Jupiter, and the number 3. Number 3 belongs to the family of 3, 6, and 9. Sarah Blakely, her name adds to 6. She's born on day 9. And the number 3 is from her zodiac. 369 is the family. And being the zodiac Pisces, she belongs to a water sign and she's very imaginative. Her power is trusting her gut feeling. And it is her creativity, it is her inherent abilities. And this is the characteristic of the zodiac sign Pisces. And her name is in perfect alignment with the family of 369. Her day is 9. Her name adds to 6. And she has the backing of number 3. If you have been following me, I have been often repeating that there are few numbers I call Destiny's favorite children. And they are 3, 1, 5, and 6. And in her case, her name number adds to 6. She has the backing of number 3. Now, how numbers can help you? In the same way. Knowing what each number stands for will help you know which industry it belongs to. So the letters A, I, J, Q, Y represent number 1. Letters B, C, K, R represent number 2. Letter G, L, S represent number 3. And S oftentimes I take it as number 1 also. The letter D, M, T represent number 4. Letter N and E represent number 5. Letter U, V, W, X represents number 6. Letter O and Z represents number 7. Letter F, H, and P represent 8. And the numerology that I follow is Chaldean numerology, where number 9 is not associated with any letter. Now, number 1 is the creator. Number 2 is the healer. Number 3 is the innovator, the leader. Number 4 is the organizer. Number 5 is the traveler and the communicator. Number 6 is the arbitrator or the mediator. Number 7 is the guru and the spiritual leader, mentor. Number 8 is the entrepreneur, the business leader. Number 9 is the humanitarian. So now if you are number 1, you belong to the category of creators. You are a real go-getter, both in social settings and at work. You love to start new projects and you absolutely enjoy the leadership roles. Number 2 is the healer. Number 2 have an incredible amount of patience and they have introspective attitude. They can be great as an advisor, as a guidance counselor, or even in nursing profession. Number 3, I call the innovator the leader. If you are number 3, then you are the innovator and the leader. It gives you sharp intellect and a knack for picking up skills very easily. You have a great flair for art and a great sense of style. Number 4 is the organizer. Number 4 loves to build things from ground up. And they love to be in charge and in control of projects from start to finish. And the professions that best suited for you is into construction, land development areas. Number 5 is the traveler, the communicator. If you meet number 5, you will never be able to ignore them. You will see they are very passionate people. They have a charismatic personality and they love to travel. They have an adventurous spirit. They're full of great enthusiasm. People admire number 6 personalities for their calm personality, calm attitude. They tend to enjoy the life as it is, but they have a great taste. And in friendship, you can always count on them. They make a great politician, homemaker, or into the legal professions. Number 7 is the guru, the spiritual leader, the mentor. If you are number 7, then one thing is for sure, you love to learn. You are never satisfied and every time you want to know more and discover more, find more. You can very easily fine-tune any idea, but you thrive when you are with yourself and you love to discover and research. Number 8, the entrepreneur, the business guy. If you have number 8, then one thing is for sure, you have a unique skill for spotting profitable trends. Your mind is always active. You are a loyal friend. Careers best suited for you are anywhere where it allows you to spread your wings. Whenever you see an idea worth exploring, you just take off. And number 9, I call the humanitarian. If you're number 9, you see the world with your own eyes. You have a keen eye for spotting the need of the community. You are stable, you are well-rounded, and you tend to build influence very easily. And if number 9 has the backing of 5, then they mostly belong to the public speaking professions and they thrive. Thanks for listening to this episode of Invincible Passion Talk Show. Hope you enjoyed. Please give your comments and likes. Until next week.